And it's time to kick off the first global VCT event of the year. It's Carmichael versus FPX, Genji versus Loud. Day one of Masters Madrid starts right now.
So this is how it's gonna go. Americas is all about the noise and the volume. We're gonna end on a decisive 13-3 victory with a knife kill to close out the match. Then, when it's time to celebrate, we're not even gonna shake hands. Just leap on the table, lift the trophy, and fight it to make sure it's real.
Tunay? Gusto mo ba malaman kung anong tunay? Ito ang mangyayari. Magaling sa control at pagiging aggressive ang Pacific. Maaaring isuko namin ng ilang rounds, pero tatapusin namin ito sa 13-10 na panalo at jet knives sa buong mapa. Sisiguruhin namin yayakapin ang mga kalaban dahil kakailangan nila ito. Iyuko kami bilang pasasalamat sa mga tagahanga habang inaangat namin ang trophy. Hindi ba maganda?
远不如 CN 赛区选手的精准度、爆发力。其他队伍休想拿下任何一分，我们将以是3-0完胜，并与判官团灭掉对手，结束比赛。当我在欢呼中举起奖杯时，我会仁慈地感谢对手所做的牺牲。Son teorías interesantes. Ahora para nuestro 1, 2, 3, 4. Sexto trofeo.
Welcome to Masters Madrid.
America's interview, take one, marker.
I like the flames.
Thank you. I'm pretty hot right now. You know the meme with Arnold Schwarzenegger that is like, yeah, like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's better.
Será que nós é rockstar mesmo? Eu não sei.
What makes Americas the most competitive region?
I would say we have the best duelist in the world, for sure. We have Aspas, we have now second. KCK is proving himself. And we also have a lot of world champions. You have one on your team, for example. So make us great, for sure.
Historically speaking, a lot of good IGLs in Americas as well.
I love how you are playing more women now in Saint TPs.
Definitely, like, your team is, like, I would say, like, scary to play against because you have, like, world caliber players, world caliber strats.
I'm super happy you guys are here representing the night with us.
I think Masters Madrid is going to be absolute cinema.
More like absolute defeat. Director's cut.
Celebrity coming through. Forsaken, you look pretty cool.
Really? Yeah, I look some like superstar, you know?
Can you guys tell me about the Pacific playstyle?
되게 미친놈들처럼 게임을 하고 공격성도 있으며 일단 디테일이 가장 좋은 것 같아요, 퍼시픽.
I think sometimes we can play like 5 duelists, 3 duelists, maybe even no duelists. It doesn't matter, you know, because we always press W.
Are you guys going to take down Americas in Madrid?
Maybe. I mean, they kind of beat us before, so maybe some revenge, you know?
페이퍼 렉스야? 진짜 너무 사랑스럽고 소중해요. 진짜 빛 그 자체? 젠지 파이팅!
The EMEA regions, I would say our strongest part is the balance between macro and aim.
we actually are the future of the NBA. Because Fnatic and Navi were both top 2 in the EU. We both knocked them out. It's pretty crazy, no?
Yeah. Congrats to making it there.
Thank you, man. You're expecting Boaster, right? Spanish org, Spanish crowd and everything. I feel like it was destined that Heretics were at Madrid.
Here we go. Ready?
People, they think it was a fluke. So we're gonna show them that it's not. It's time for the new generation to take over.
You got this, bro. One of us will make it to the finals, mate, I promise you.
今天特别开心，能够跟方 pass 他们一起来到这里跟他们拍摄，然后今天也能跟 Life 在一起，然后在马德里又相见了嘛。
In your opinion, what makes VCT China so competitive?
我的看法是因为我没有看他。
然后更多的爆发力，还有那些不被他们所预测到的那些东西。我觉得 VCTCN 大家的这个环境都挺好，不仅是你跟我，是整个环境其实也更像一个家庭 family 这种感觉，对，兄弟。
Fala, manito. Quanto tempo, hein? Um aninho.
Um aninho. Demorou.
Demorou, tô atrasado, né? Demorou um ano pra eu ganhar. Aí você deixou eu ganhar também. Muito obrigado,
jamais.
Muito. Valeu.
E agora, né? Muito feliz que estamos aqui. Internacional juntos.
Internacional juntos.
Muito tempo, cara.
Tentar fazer a final, né? De novo, igual Américas. É isso.
Final América contra América.
Exato. Fotinha? Fotinha. Vamos lá.
No confiaron, pero mira, no. Llego con los míos y la grada explota. Le di la razón al que me quiso ver bien. Lo soñé en mi habitación y ahora en primera me ven. No te hablo del avión, vine por mi cinturón. No confiaron, pero mira, no. Llego con los míos y la grada explota. No confiaron, pero mira, no. Llego con los míos y la grada explota.
Upsets, surprises, we've seen it all on the regional stage, but can these teams continue their dominance when the stage is so much bigger and the stakes are so much higher?
For Carmen Cora, most of these players were picked up from Tier 2, were new prospects heading into this year. They've done something incredible by beating the best in EMEA, coming out as champions from that region. But now it's new pressure, it's new opponents, it's new styles on a big stage. And FPX, if they are one thing, they are a team that can upset, that can surprise, they can push you off guard.
And every single team, because of the opponents that they're going to be facing, are so hungry to be the winners of this tournament. You were saying it, Mimi. Anybody can win this tournament. The favorites are very, in the air. Anybody can take this game. And I think the FPX is hungry, is devoted to change our minds, to just not thinking that China is just EDG.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of rookies this year, It seems like the rise of all the rookies, but it's been such a long time since N was on this stage. And just to remind you, the 2 tournaments that N made globally, he won one of them and he reached the final to the other one. So he's got a lot to prove coming into this as well.
I mean, technically the next one he's going to get grouped, or what is he's not making it to playoffs? He's going down one.
No. Hey. I'm not about that life.
For FPX, it's been a while since they've been on an international stage. This team has represented at previous events, but they didn't make it to Champions, the big event at the end of last year. They made some changes, picked up stars into this year, and I think are looking better than they used to, but still have that same identity, right? They play weird comps, and Icebox is no different. They're playing a Jet, Reyna, Gecko composition.
Well, at least we expect so.
Yeah.
Could you imagine changes?
They could definitely change it. They've had time to do so.
I mean, we've seen that already, right? Teams that are starting to adopt the Na'Vi way of having multiple comps on one map. I don't think they will change anything coming into this, but Mimi, it will very much disrupt their preparation if they did.
It absolutely will, but this event had very low turnaround time for the teams that went deep, especially for a team like KC, who played so many matches. They had to go through the group stage, through the play-ins, through the playoffs. Like, there really hasn't been a huge amount of time to turn around new ideas, which is why I, again, think that today, in a match like this, it's really going to come down to adaptation, to the leaders in the servers, and not necessarily the coaches in the prep ahead of time.
I think it's going to be all about exploiting the weaknesses, and I can see a lot of them in the FPX comp. The way that you have to play it, the way that you have to default, having, as I said, someone always in the middle. We do not see many teams playing 2-1-2 on a map. This is not New York, by the way.
But and as we can see from the agent select here, what do you guys make of this?
I mean, it's what we expected, right? I think looking at Carmen Core starting on defense, their biggest strength with this composition is their retakes. They have Sage Wall and Wingman to get on that spike, and they have good flash utility with that Dizzy to fight forward. FPX, I think, need to be taking space past the spike site if they're planting on B, or holding forward on A, and kind of having a scaling defense where they start forward and move back to not fall victim to these retakes.
And I think it's so important what you're mentioning with the retakes, because that is what has made the difference for most of the teams, especially in EMEA. KC was the best. The protocols were the cleanest probably out of the entire world, the way that they were playing off of pairs and knew exactly what utility to invest. And again, exploiting the weaknesses even with the retakes. Out of this entire tournament, they have the highest success after the spike has been planted.
You have to watch this Jet head-to-head. Autumn and Martine, both of them prospects at their first international event on the star roll for Icebox.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. But that is enough from us. I know there's been two gentlemen waiting in the flanks, waiting a very, very long time to cast Carmichael. Give a warm welcome to Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, Yinsu. Yeah, I'm going to let loose an Alley Le Bleu at some point, maybe, potentially.
We'll
Bias casters online, mate. I mean, I don't know. We'll get into it. It's Madrid here, the Swiss stage, day one to get us started. Carmen Core versus FPX. You know, you've got potentially quite a one-sided matchup here on paper, but a real chance to potentially show some of that parity that might be there at these international events. I mean, Magnum has spoken in press interviews as well, talking about how, you know, they're familiar, I think, with the way that FPX are going to be playing, but they're not going to be coming into this underestimating a team like FPX.
No, certainly not. Magnum quoted in the press conference saying, "It's Valorant, anyone can lose." Here we go then, into the pistol round, and Carmen Core have 3 players up towards A. Anticipating this space control perhaps, but FPX are not committed with it.
Not quite. Flash to clear with the Dizzy, all combined up. That's going to be the dash active now for Martine. Using that in the responsive, but there's no go button pressed here for FPX. Keen to just wait this one out on the opposite side of the map. Autumn went poking around, and he managed to catch Tomazy. Good opening here. I mean, it does open up the B side entirely. A repeat from Life. He's got the heal online, but Martine returns with the kill. Nice trade.
Lysor didn't buy the orb in this round, so having to use the wall in order to escape there, that means there's going to be no wall placed down over towards B. So Carmen Core are going to have opportunities to try to deny this plant, though they are players down.
That's true with the paranoia here, FPX. A lot of the sight lines blocked off.
Now look at this, the Omen smokes are lovely for them to take more aggressive positions on site.
Carmen Core all up towards Kitchen, doubled up here, but just picking and choosing their battles at the right time.
They have no idea.
They have no idea where they're being shot from. Through the grates here, one player left standing, it's Lysor. We'll see what they can do. Snake bites, at least one connection, but the wall's up in their face. They've got to really just get a move on as well, wrapping all the way around here. Shin sticking the defuse here for the pistol round. It's all Carmen Core.
And that's the power of that retake. It's what the devs were talking about. Carmen Core look so good in those kind of situations, but really, the retake wasn't even where the danger was averted for FPX. It was the fact that Magnum was able to pick off 2 from this angle. I mean,
yeah, looking all over the place. Look at
Autumn is completely lost
on us with them.
And this is where you might start to see the cracks in FPX, because they've talked about the fact that the language barrier has been an issue for them, a really big one in the past. Berlin said in the press conference he's having to repeat the communications twice a lot of the time in English and in Chinese so that everybody on the team's on the same page. That's going to introduce delays, and it was an unusual position anyway for Magnum to be taking that fight.
The pistol round secured, deep omen smoke. Magnum has to body check a lot of this space, really. There was some danger there, but clears out towards mid, knowing that nobody's lurking.
And those lurks are going to be a pretty important part of how FPX creates threats on the attack side. Smokes from Lysor and Berlin need to be dealt with. And sometimes that's going to require face checking, and when there's opponents hiding inside smokes, that's a great way for teams to get upset wins.
Yeah, here we go. Offload into util here with a Dizzy. Player's not been pushed off from the backwards positions, though, out towards the back and aside. It's a nasty and messy spray. No kills collected there, but only just for life here with the heal online. But now reinforcements are here, finally arriving. Multitudes of targets to pick from, but really Carmen Court coming up green in the kill feed.
Blue, surely.
I mean, well, okay.
Some kind of teal.
It's a teal. You could make the argument.
Easy cleanup, despite it looking a little labored there from the right early on. And now FPX, first round where they can do some serious damage after the pistol. 5 Vandals facing off against KC, who have 3 Bulldogs online as well. Clear weaponry advantage for FPX, especially down these longer angles, so they might want to take over towards B. And defaulting the Viper Wall, A, at the start of this round. Not quite the same as they did on the pistol, because this time we've got that Viper Orb coming down mid too.
Does have that threat of potentially working their way through into mid. Cool, lovely. Would love to set their sights onto a bonus round conversion. As you said, longer fights to be taken with the rifles of FPX, and they're cautious just at the beginning initially here. Don't want to run into things. Omen smoke now propped up, will divide up the site and allow them to start to take a bit more of that space once they clear through the appropriate positions. But we're almost down to a minute on the clock.
And they haven't created too many threats in mid either.
Almost betrayed there by the ponytail, but Shin gets away with it.
And Berlin with nobody there to try to support. The IGL gets picked off with no advantage, no possibility of a trade, no information even as to where Shin and Martin could have repositioned to. As FPX come back in here, they're going to have to use these flashes, the Dizzy, just to try to figure out where those players on defensive A would have gone.
And it orchestrates kind of exactly where these FPX players are going. Now it really does feel like it's going to be landing into an A hit. Shin,
it's great timing on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, for the precisely right moment in the raid. Flash over the top, it's going to be going straight through the gap at the top there. Good connection. Martin willing to take the fight. The transfer damage done, but no kill. In fact, that's all life here, just leading the charge for the rest of his team. Is there only going to be clean up onto Shin eventually?
Very weak.
12 seconds, and yeah, life is weak. Pops the ult off. Might be able to get something going with this one. At least needs one more kill for it. Nobody watching. There it is. He'll back up. Needs to get the plan down. 4 seconds. Taps. Taps. Forcing into the 1v1. It's the only win condition for life, and time is born and played. Frantic in the minute, in minute moments. I mean, minutia making the difference there.
That's a wild one for FPX to not convert, honestly. The spray from Martin was really labored, a little similar to Narrate when we saw him with the Bulldog in round 2.
10 seconds left.
But how Magnum gets past there without Life being able to get the kill. Life whiffing on the spray means that Autumn goes down. And Life unable to convert in the 1v1 as well. He decided to go for that, the duel instead of just sticking the plant. That's a tragedy for FPX early on.
Back to me.
Knocks the economy down a peg or two, so going to be working with some weaker weaponry. Life's going to be after making the most, I think, of this Guardian purchase.
It looks fairly explosive here over towards B. Aeon having that ult online, it would be a really large investment early on before you've managed to create a pick for yourself.
Smoke's finally back online now to just cut off sections onto the site. Snake bites and mollies just in case they want to press the advantage and push towards the back of the site. But it's just being held for control here. Carmen Core happy to play this retake.
A lot of focus being put on that angle where Magnum managed to pick up 2 on the pistol. A weak spot, perhaps.
We'll see now. There's Wingman. That's going to be spotting out a player or two. Berlin. Let's get the initial kill, but not enough to get the follow-up here. But down below the bridge, where's the expectation of it? Narrate, he was dropping down, but not enough bullets in the clip to really finish him off. 3v3 shots, Life regaining the advantage potentially there. It's traded back and forth. It's Narrate versus Ayang. Narrate comes up with the goods. Rifle in his hands to get the job done.
And plenty of time left on the clock too. That one had danger in it. It absolutely did. But Karmine Corp still managed to forge their way up to 4. FPX deciding not to invest Ayang's ultimate into that round, where perhaps, you know, it could have made the difference. It did end up being fairly close. Frankly, if Autumn even gets that kill, the round is looking really dodgy.
Remaining.
I gotta say, while Karmine Corp are up 4-0 here, this is not the same level of clinical play that we saw from them in EMEA when they were making that run. There's a lot of conversation about, because we've seen so many unexpected teams make it to Masters Madrid, with so many rookie players as well ascending to this premier level of the game, are people going to adapt to the stage quickly? If you have some nerves, how do you play through it? It feels like it's a little touch and go at the moment for Karmine Corp, but enough to be able to get them over the line in these rounds. And similar nerves on the other side for FPX. You've got to remember, FPX are a team, this is their 3rd time getting to a global event. They've only ever been able to take one map at a global event before, and that was against the old Karmine Corp when they played first time at Lock-In. It was a 2-1 victory in favor of Karmine Corp, and that was the old, you know, Melons lineup. That wasn't the Madrid clean, clinical Karmine Corp that we've come to expect after their running kickoff.
It's well-honed squad, and you know, to just touch on that rookie point as well, you know, maybe that inexperience rearing its head for some of the players. Karmine Corp looking like one of the youngest rosters I think that we've got coming into Madrid.
They are, yeah.
Maybe that does showcase. Of course, some of them do have that international experience.
They do, and you know, you see Magnum up there towards the top, managed to find that hole in the pistol round and has been very consistent so far on the defense side for his team. So we get to see another rifle round here, starting to get up towards some big ultimates too. Narrate and Magnum's ults in particular going to be excellent on the retake, as Narrate takes first contact and wants to hunt for more.
He's not scared, is he?
No, Shin was holding up towards the belt, so he had angles covered. Martin's crosshair placement looked like it might have been off for just a moment as Ayang's head poking below, but I don't believe they caught any whiff of the Jet stuck in that corner. I say stuck, hiding.
He's got the
starting
dash,
a trap
to get out. Yeah, it's a lovely position to play in. FPX quite like what they were seeing just from cutting the noise there. They show a bit of that presence just initially, now making their way over towards B. Contact reclear, is that what's going to be called here?
Certainly looks like it. The same kind of B end with that double omen smoke setup that we've seen from FPX in a few rounds so far.
All the util combined together. Unfortunate for Life there. He will fall just through the smoke as it was propped up. Bloomed and blossomed, but FPX keen to still play this one. Maybe a bit more aggressively as well. Look at the position of some of these players. Berlin taking a peek out towards Kitchen. Expected though. Now you see it. Thrash exchanged. Dropping down onto either side. Detainment potentially there. Looks like it, yeah. Berlin. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And now positioning, being swarmed and approached from every possible angle. I saw, realizing now that really has to give it up. Wasn't that mid position. He was the insurance policy, but now has to save that rifle.
Gutting as Karmine Corp get up to 5. Absolutely putting away FPX. This is looking like they've got a very good idea of how they want to deal with this classic exec that we're seeing from FPX. Nobody is getting caught on sight. Tamashi is just getting a kill by spamming a common angle where he's expecting them to be pushing up, defending that over push into Snowman and making sure that they have the pieces together to be able to get back in onto site. FPX are finding it difficult here to force the fight. It's one of the big powers of their composition is the ability to combo flashes together. And they're not really finding an opportunity to do that because Karmine Corp are playing so much further back.
Initial expenditure of util, but they are playing really far back. I mean, that's just the retake protocols.
Get out of my way.
Desk was mentioning it. It's super, super well drilled for Karmine Corp.
Yeah.
The bread and butter really of, you know, what was getting them so many of the wins because they were looking so well honed.
And there's always a little bit of danger when you allow your opponents to plant against you so often that you wouldn't be able to pull it off. You know, most teams, even the great ones, are only converting something like, you know, a third of their retakes. But these teams at this event are looking to try to change that. So this makes it feel like it's something similar over towards B, but it's not a full commitment.
No, in fact, they haven't used both the smokes. I mean, Berlin hasn't locked off the angle, so they're getting information the entire time. Magnum has just been egoing the angle on B.
And Martin, ready, waiting, not spotted in this position before.
Be able to receive this. Now, Dizzy wasn't collected over towards B to clear it, so they don't even have that util to clear this angle. Up top, though, yeah, crosshair placement. You've got to take a gamble if you play in that spot. It could come from two different directions, so gambling incorrectly there. Life is the one to capitalize.
Magnum, though, still with ultimate. How does FPX deal with that?
Down with a wingman, clears out a bit of the site. Now the plan online, but here's the lockdown.
Oh, Aeon denied from even going for that.
They can't go for the plan. Time. They have to fight this one. FPX have to make a call to do so, but now detainment, it's going to be happening anytime soon. This is a round basically done and dusted. Online there with a res. Magnum back into the fight, 3 versus 3, but with time like this, I mean, there's just no chance. You have to kill everybody. It's not there for FPX.
And a complete tactical outplay there by KC. They're thinking ahead to, in terms of the ultimates that they have available, it's very clear that that lockdown is going to get used. And FPX didn't come up with a game plan quickly enough to try to challenge it before it went down, didn't have a game plan to try to increase the tempo, and I think we're just expecting to get the plant for free. They're thinking, all right, KC, they've been playing retake this entire time. They're just going to use lockdown, we're going to be able to play the plant. And Aeon could not get that spike down.
Yeah.
I love to see this.
The overall game plan of Carmine Court just fundamentally is fantastic as well. Been playing super far back on B, almost conditioning that they've got nobody playing towards B main.